Today is January 20th, 2026, and welcome to Furniture Industry News. I'm glad you're here. Let's walk through what's happening right now across housing, retail, finance, manufacturing, and logistics, and what it all means for those of us in the furniture business. We'll start with housing, because it continues to be one of the clearest signals for future furniture demand. Recent data on both new and existing home sales is pointing in a positive direction for the industry. New home sales showed year-over-year growth, and existing home sales also improved compared to the same period last year. While mortgage rates remain higher than many consumers would like, buyers are adjusting, and builders are offering incentives that are helping deals get done. For furniture retailers and manufacturers, this matters because home purchases tend to drive spending on furnishings within the first year of ownership. The takeaway here is not that we're back to a boom cycle, but that housing is stable enough to support steady furniture demand as we move through 2026. Staying on the consumer side, e-commerce sales remain a bright spot. Through the third quarter, online sales continued to grow, even as overall retail spending stayed cautious. Furniture remains a challenging category online because of delivery costs and product complexity, but consumers are clearly comfortable researching, comparing, and in many cases purchasing big-ticket items digitally. What's notable is that e-commerce growth is no longer limited to younger buyers. Older demographics are increasingly using online tools as part of their shopping journey, often blending digital research with in-store visits. For furniture retailers, this reinforces the importance of clean data, accurate product information, and a seamless handoff between online discovery and physical showrooms. That blend of digital and in-store shopping ties directly into financing, which continues to be a major competitive lever. Retailers are leaning more heavily on flexible financing options to close sales in a cautious consumer environment. Buy now, pay later programs, promotional financing, and expanded approval criteria are helping retailers keep conversion rates up, even as consumers remain payment sensitive. The key theme here is flexibility. Retailers that can offer multiple financing paths are better positioned to meet customers where they are, especially as household budgets remain under pressure. Before we go further, this is a good moment to zoom out for a second. We spend a lot of time here talking about what's happening right now, the numbers, the trends, the policies, but there's another layer that often gets overlooked: how the biggest players in this industry actually got here. That's why I want to quickly tell you about a new podcast series called Furniture Industry Stories. Furniture Industry Stories is the podcast that exposes how the titans won, why the legends fell, and what separates the survivors from the casualties. While your competitors are stuck repeating the same old patterns, this series breaks down the exact strategies that turned small operations into billion-dollar empires. The first episode focuses on Ashley Furniture and digs into the hidden moves, the risky pivots, and the game-changing innovations that rarely get talked about, but absolutely should. This isn't entertainment. This is competitive advantage, delivered straight to your ears. Every minute you wait is a minute your competition gets ahead. Subscribe to Furniture Industry Stories and start playing at a level most furniture pros don't even know exists. Your next breakthrough really could be one episode away. Now, back to the issues shaping the market today. Financing is also being reshaped at the national level. President Trump proposed a 10% credit card interest rate cap. Supporters argue that it provides immediate relief to consumers struggling with high interest charges, while critics warn it could reduce credit availability or push lenders to tighten approval standards. For furniture retailers, the short-term impact may be mixed. On one hand, lower interest rates on revolving credit could make consumers more comfortable carrying balances. On the other hand, if banks pull back on credit access, some customers may find it harder to qualify. In fact, the Home Furnishings Association has already pushed back on the credit card rate cap, raising concerns about unintended consequences. The organization has warned that caps like this could limit consumer access to credit and reduce purchasing power, particularly for larger discretionary items like furniture. Looking ahead to the broader business environment, many retailers are focused on starting 2026 on the right foot. Retailers are prioritizing inventory discipline, tighter expense control, and more targeted marketing. There's a noticeable shift away from growth at all costs thinking and towards sustainable profitability. Store operators are also spending more time on staff training and customer experience, recognizing that conversion and average ticket matter more than raw traffic in a cautious consumer era. Technology is another major theme shaping planning conversations. Industry voices are increasingly urging retailers and manufacturers to put artificial intelligence strategy at the top of their 2026 planning lists. AI is already being used for demand forecasting, pricing optimization, customer service, and content creation. The message is not that AI replaces people, but that it can help teams make better decisions faster. Companies that take a thoughtful, practical approach to AI adoption are likely to gain efficiency and insight advantages over those that wait too long to engage. On the financial and manufacturing side, consolidation continues. Southworth Capital Management's acquisition of American Furniture Manufacturing's assets and brands marks a significant shift. The deal brings together manufacturing capacity and financial backing with the goal of stabilizing operations and supporting long-term growth. For retailers, this kind of transaction can bring both opportunity and uncertainty. On the positive side, stronger capitalization may lead to improved service levels and product availability. At the same time, retailers will be watching closely for changes in product lines, pricing, and account relationships as the integration unfolds. Adding to the merger and acquisition activity, Somni Group and Leggett have signed a non-disclosure agreement to discuss a possible acquisition. While no deal has been announced, the move signals continued interest in vertical integration and portfolio expansion within the bedding and components space. These discussions matter to retailers because consolidation at the manufacturing level can influence product innovation, lead times, and supplier diversity over time. Trade and logistics are also evolving. Spot shipping rates have eased as China's export surge reshapes global trade flows. Increased export volume has shifted capacity and created more competitive pricing in certain lanes. For furniture importers, lower spot rates can help offset other cost pressures, though volatility remains. The broader lesson is that supply chain conditions are improving compared to recent years, but they are still dynamic and require close monitoring. All of this is happening against the backdrop of what analysts are calling the cautious consumer era. Research looking ahead to 2026 suggests that spending will be uneven. Higher-income households remain more willing to spend on home and lifestyle categories, while middle and lower-income consumers are more selective and value-driven. Furniture purchases are still happening, but shoppers are taking longer to decide, comparing more options, and looking closely at financing and perceived value. Retailers that clearly communicate quality, durability, and total value are better positioned to win in this environment. There's also ongoing uncertainty around trade policy and credit regulation. Industry observers are watching for the possibility of additional tariffs and further changes to credit rules. The message here is not panic, but preparation. Scenario planning, flexible sourcing, and diversified financing options can help businesses stay resilient as policy discussions continue. When you step back and look at the full picture, the furniture industry enters 2026 with cautious optimism. Housing is supportive, e-commerce remains strong, supply chains are stabilizing, and innovation in finance and technology is creating new ways to serve customers. At the same time, consolidation, regulation, and a selective consumer require discipline and focus. The companies that succeed will be the ones that balance efficiency with experience and adaptability with consistency. If you find these updates helpful, make sure you're subscribed to Furniture Industry News so you don't miss future episodes and industry insights.